Just a real quick update here, folks. It is 9:45 Eastern Time in our live trade room. We just finished calling 2 trades live in real time. Both of them have been winners. What I'd like to do, though, is highlight one specific thing that we've done here recently, which was avoiding a loss. We were initially on crude oil looking to trade short at 85.30, but what didn't we see? We didn't see the sellers trigger the entry. So we avoided the trade short. We then kept waiting patiently. And shortly afterwards, we find ourselves going right back to the same place. This time around, we got exactly what we needed. We got the big blocks of sellers in the tape, momentum curled over from being overbought, and of course, we got into the trade short. This trade was called well ahead of time. As you can see right on my chart, I gave you guys the exact entry point to look for. And of course, we're also going to wait to get our final target at 85 even down at the lows of the range. That was our first trade today. And as of right now, I have not filled my second target, which would be at 19. So we're just a couple ticks away from getting that second target filled. I have tightened up my stop here to a -5 stop so that I can protect my capital. As day traders, we are capital preservers first and capital earners second. So we're trying to make sure we tighten up that stop and scale out of this position. I'll teach you guys all that stuff as members. And of course, you can see here now on the Russell is a very similar situation. And the Russell actually gave us kind of an interesting situation here. We found ourselves on the Russell, if you looked at the 89 range chart with us this morning for the morning prep, we found ourselves on the Russell getting involved at the lows of this range. And if you were listening in closely when we did our prep this morning on the Russell, which we do each morning before we start, my exact words were, we're going to have a hard time selling directly at these lows. But what happened? Well, what happened was, in the last 10 minutes, price bounced off those lows and gave us a chance to get short. This is one of those scenarios where if we're literally sitting right on the low of day, or if we're sitting right on a major support level, for example, here on my 21 range chart, if we find ourselves sitting right on the low, let it bounce off those lows, and then that way we can have enough room to get in short. Well, sure enough, look what time frame this is. This is a 21 range chart. What do we know about a 21 range? We know that 21 range charts are wave patterns that we almost can't resist. They're very, very high percentage wave patterns. So you'll notice we were able to get in going lower as soon as the price bounced off that low. The Russell, just like crude oil, a little bit inconsistent this morning so far. It's only 9:45. We got 10 o'clock news up next. We're going to keep an eye on that 10 o'clock news. So the next news I'm working on today will be at 10 o'clock for business inventories. Don't forget, guys, we got our members summit tomorrow in Vegas. We've got a ton of you guys and gals coming out to